For number 34, I know the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is -3. Write the inequality represented by the graph. I know it's shaded above. It's a solid line. Y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 3. That is your answer. Slope is 2. Y-intercept is -3. This is your answer for part A. Now they want you to graph x plus 2y is less than 4. So what I have to do is get this into standard form. I get 2y is less than -x plus 4. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So what I get is y is less than -1/2 x plus 2. You have to divide both those by 2. So I come up here, and then my y-intercept is 2. My slope is down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. I connected my line with a dashed line because it says less than. Now, because it's less than, I'm going to shade below. This is my solution set. Okay, I graph my inequality. Now I move on to see the two inequalities graph form a system. Oscar thinks 2, 1 is in the solution set. 2, 1 is right here. Determine and state whether you agree with Oscar. Explain your reasoning. I don't agree with Oscar because 2, 1 is not a solution to x plus 2y is less than 4. We know it's not because it's on the dashed line. Points on the dashed line are not a solution. Therefore, it's not a solution to the system, meaning both. For number 35, this is a calculator problem. I'm going to put all of this information into my lists. They're asking for correlation coefficients, so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to make sure that my diagnostic tools are on. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to catalog. I'm going to jump down to the D's. I'm going to scroll through diagnostic on, hit enter. It should say done. I then put all my information into my lists. I go to stat and then over to edit calc, and then I go to linear regression. I hit enter. Now notice you have these R values up now. Well, R is your correlation coefficient. R squared is not for you at this time. You're looking just at the R. R is 0.94. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. 0.94 is my correlation coefficient. Explain what this means. Since 0.94 is close to +1, there is a strong positive correlation between calories and milligrams of sodium. Number 36, given the function, state whether the vertex represents a maximum or minimum point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my calculator. I am going to type in that equation. I'm going to hit graph. My graph's a little bit off the screen, so what I could do is change my y maximum to, say, 20. Notice how, still not really that visible, so we'll say 30. Okay, this vertex, the turning point of a parabola, this is a maximum. Okay, so you have to state maximum because the parabola is upside down and reaches its highest point around x equals 4. Now, rewriting this in vertex form by completing the square, what you're going to do is you're essentially going to separate. I missed a step in here. You're essentially going to separate -x squared plus 8x, and then you're going to put plus 9. Okay, but what you're going to do is you're going to factor out a -1 just from this binomial. Okay, you're going to leave plus 9 over here. Now, completing the square, remember we are taking half of this and squaring it. So half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So I put plus 16 in here. Now, because of this -1, it's like I really added a -16. So what I'm going to do over here is I am going to put plus 16. Without that negative, you're usually doing the opposite signs when you're working on the same side. But because of this -1, -1 times a positive 16 is actually -16. If you think about it, it's -x squared plus 8x minus 16. So this has got to be opposite that sign. So what we say is -1 x minus 4 squared. When you're factoring it like this, remember this is always half of b. It's always half of that x. Plus 25. This means that it doesn't tell you to do this, but this means that it's upside down. This means that it's to the right 4 and then up 25. When it says rewrite f of x, this is my rewrite. That is my answer.